Okay, so in the previous video I implemented the MPG database dataset, and we using ggplots we revealed some of the patterns in the data that are very useful in terms of making an informed choice which type of vehicle is more fuel efficient, and the color coding and so on again unearths a lot of the nuances probably that we wouldn't directly observe just looking at data. If we go back into the R for data science HTML text authored by Hadley Wickham and Garrett Groland, if we come down to chapter 28 and go to the graphics for communication, one of the interesting elements of the graphing capability of ggplots is that we can introduce annotations, and so we can write into the graph the name of the vehicle. Now in this instance we find that there's overlap on the labeling, so that's a bit of a problem, but that actually can be solved within the ggplots. But also important to note here, when we implemented the code in the previous video using the deplyr package, we're able to subset out the most fuel efficient car in each class. So for instance, in the, I think either in the compact or the subcompact class, there was the Beetle, and we're able to find that particular high performing or high fuel efficient car for that particular class, and that can be revealed in the graph. So, but to subset that out, we have to use deplyr. Now deplyr is available if we go back into RStudio for a moment, right? When we install the tidyverse packages and then include in the library tidyverse, both ggplot and deplyr are made available then in the script. Okay, so when we ran the code here, we were able to identify the top performing car in the class, so in terms of the fuel efficiency and in terms of descending order, we're able to find the car. And again, we have a pipe operator that says, look, we ascribe to this subset of data, we extract from the MPG dataset, and then group each of the observations in terms of their class, and then filter in the class the row number, and then we go for the number one. So in descending order in terms of fuel efficiency, right, we mark out the top performing car in terms of fuel efficiency. So that means then we get the highest fuel efficient vehicle for each class, and then we can plot that, and we want the labels. Okay, so we introduce the geometry text, and we want the label to be revealed for the best in class vehicle. Now as we can see when we zoom in here, that's a bit problematic because the data overlaps. Okay, so to nudge out of the way or nudge to one side the data, we can put in ggplot mpg using the aesthetic of for the color. So each class has its own color categorization. The size of the dots in the graph are set at 3. The shape is 1. The data we want revealed here is also best in class, and then we ggr repel. Okay, and that is the effect of nudging or removing the overlap. So let's just copy and see what the effect is. In fact, we can see underneath here so we want to replicate what we have here in terms of the graphing. Okay, so I go back into RStudio and we come down and paste in the graph, and then we run that syntax. Okay, and I forgot to load the namespace grepl. Okay, so let's go back for a moment into the document, and okay, so I should have included in the library here grepl. So let's just get that. Okay, so it's looking for load namespace, no package called grepl. So I need to put in, before I run that, okay, library, and in fact I probably need to install package as well. So ggplot2. Okay, I don't have that. Okay, so install packages, and then grepl grepel. Okay, so I'm being prompted. Let's install that. So let's run, and the package is being installed, and it should appear here in terms of our packages. So I look under gggrep, so it's now there. And then to make it available in this R script, okay, we will run library. Okay, so now the box is ticked for that, and now we implement that code, ggplot2. Okay, and let's zoom in, and what's revealed here is the Beetle is highly fuel efficient in its particular class, the Jetta, the Altima, the Forester, the Caravan, the Toyota Tacoma, and the Corvette. And again, you can think of this in terms of a salesperson trying to reveal to a potential customer, or you could think of a marketing professional trying to reveal to a group of customers, look, the relative fuel efficiency of the car. Because the graphing is high resolution, right? That facilitates producing documents for either marketing or just generally publishing or for other stakeholders. Okay, so if we go back to the labeling here, again, just to recap in terms of what we managed to elicit from our data, we visualize the data. We produce box plots, the XY plot, scatter graphs with the points, the trend lines, and so on. And then finally, we were able to subset out using the deplyr package, right, which is part of the tidyverse, right, suite of packages. We were able to invoke the deplyr package so that we could pull out of the overall data the subset of the most fuel efficient or best in class cars. Okay, and then we could reveal that in terms of the graphing, and then using the grepl package. Now we had to install the grepl package, and then grepl package by Kamil Slowikowski, and we were able then to nudge the labeling to one side, so the labeling wasn't distorted due to overlap. And again, that's a very practical solution, useful again for a whole cohort of different types of marketing, digital marketing professionals, and so on. And it comes in a very efficient and well put together tidyverse with high resolution, high quality, beautiful type coloring, graphing. Okay, so I think I might leave it there, but just to note that there are plenty of other options here in terms of exploring the data and pulling out useful metrics from the data. Sometimes it's not possible purely from the if you go in and explore the database, the relational database, we don't immediately observe or can observe, even given it's not a huge database that we have here. The data set's quite small, only 234 observations, but a lot of the richness it cannot be revealed immediately. Last thing perhaps to note is I might want to save that. So if you notice that your R script is untitled and we have the star appearing and it's in red, we would probably like to save it somewhere. So we can go to File and then come down to Save As, and I suppose I could put it in just for quick access. I can put that into the desktop, but we need to give it a name. So again, I would say perhaps maybe chapter 3 and 28 and R for data science. Okay, so R for data science. And then we can, as we amend the code, we can then go back and take a look at that. There was an RPubs, perhaps just to draw attention as well, for a little bit more deeper analysis in terms of graphing and hypothesis testing. One of the nice features about R is that a whole ecosystem has kind of grown up in terms of understanding, sharing code and so on. So we'll just paste in and see what's there for the moment, and reveal a little bit what value can be exploited. So exploration of the MPG dataset. Let's see, the author is Shailesh Kumar, and then there's a description of the data, structure of the data, some more nice graphing. Now in this instance the ggplot was used, which is also a package available, I think it's in base R, not the tidyverse. Then the year of manufacture, some histograms, box plot, very simple box plot, more graphing in terms of the factors and so on. But note that in each instance the code that you would introduce and then the graph. Again, the code in terms of MPG and then the type of transmission. Okay, and again this is more base R than tidyverse, but still very, very powerful, and you can implement this of course in RStudio. And then the breakdown table MPG, and the $ means subset out the drive. So the four-wheel drive, there was 103 four-wheel drives, 106 front-wheel drives, and 25 rear-wheel drives. More on the ggplots, summary of the basic descriptive statistics, but purely for the fuel efficiency in terms of the city. More ggplots, so histogram, and again many more options here are available in terms of the graphing in the base R. So tidyverse is not the only set of packages that are useful. In fact, there's a whole entire library of code and so on that also very, very useful. So that's just to point out, but there's more. If you go into Google, just check out the range of options available. Also, you might take a look at there's a portal called Kaggle, and we might just see Kaggle, MPG and RStudio and see if anything comes up. But if we're looking around for auto MPG dataset Kaggle, okay, Kaggle is hosted, it hosts a number of, okay, and we can look for kernels and then look for different languages. Then most are in Python, right? But there is R Markdown, which is another way of implementing R, a very useful way of implementing R. But if we're just looking purely for R code, then we'll designate in the language specification here R, and then we have a range of different R kernels or coding for implementing a card dataset. Now I don't think it's exactly the same dataset, it probably is a little bit updated. So the one we use from ggplot2 is going back to 2008. But still, again, this is a very useful resource, and I strongly advise people take a look here as well.